everyone, and welcome to the Say It Aloud podcast. It's our first podcast, and we welcome Ivan Rendo Barreiro. I hope I say it well.
Yeah, perfectly.
And sorry, Ivan, that you like the crash test of the podcast. So, yes, as a first question, can you talk about your studies and where you come from? And from you 18 to today, what have you done?
So I'm Spanish and from the north of Spain, but I lived since I was 18 to I was 24 in Madrid because I studied mathematics and economics in a university. It's called University Complutense of Madrid. It's like this kind of big, like here the Sorbonne in Paris, pretty big university, historical, blah, blah. Then I worked there for a year in a kind of consultancy / research institution that is called the Knowledge Engineering Institute.
Just after your preparatory French license?
Yeah, like the thing is that they are two degrees at the same time. So instead of being 4 years, the standard in Spain is 4 years, here is 3. So instead of doing 4 plus 4, it's 6 years. So instead of 8 is 6. So because I studied maths and economics, no? So I didn't have the maths that you would have in economics otherwise, because I already had the maths of maths. Okay. And the opposite was also true, but it was a bit more shady. Like in economics, you have English. Yeah. So to get rid of English, because we need to get rid of a lot of subjects, we did in maths some math course in English. Then I worked, so 1 year, and then I came to Toulouse, to TSE, to do the master's one.
Which track?
The math one. I don't know. Before it was another name. It was econometrics, but
No, it's a mathematical for decision.
Yeah, exactly. So before it was
Economic decision.
you chose either economics or econometrics,
Oh, okay.
and inside econometrics there were two paths, like the applied path or the
But it actually it's the same, just the name that has changed.
Yeah.
Now it's MED. It's like mathematics for economic decision and data science.
I think so. Yes, I think. In fact, there was no M2 when I came. Like it was the M1, you could do it in this econometric math thing, but there was no M2. And the year I entered the ATE, there were some people doing the M2 in maths. The first cohort, there were 3, I think, the 4th, something like that.
And you did the M2 in math?
No, I mean the doctoral track.
Okay.
Econometric theory and economic theory and econometrics is.
And how these doctoral tracks works? Like you do M2 with only course, you have to do research topic first, or?
No, it's very focused on the courses. In fact, you need it's flexible, but you need to do well enough during the courses. The courses are micro, macro, and econometrics.
Yeah.
And some optatives that are not very important, but these 3, first semester and second semester, and you need to do relatively well to be accepted in what is the PhD at such. But
Is there a competition or just
there is no formal competition. Okay, the previous PhD director, he was referring always like to be above the bar, but the bar was metaphorical. There was no real bar. And in I don't know for other cohorts, but for our cohort, we all did well and we all were accepted.
Oh, okay, it's nice.
And how are you accept, like you choose a topic, or it's some teacher that decide the topic for you, or things?
No, you decide your topic. It's very endogenous. I think when you are doing, for instance, when you're doing the ATE, I realized that the macro was not my thing, and I realized that the theoretical econometrics was not my thing. I like real world. So then you start talking, and I guess there is this tendency to talk to professors that you have had. Like for instance, you invited me to come here, because you know me, right? You didn't invite some other random PhD student that you would know, like that there. It's a normal thing. This way you talk to some professors, some redirect you, like you tell them, for instance, in my case, I worked with network theory in this research center in Madrid. So I told them, yeah, I like this network theory stuff. I would like to apply it to the digital contest. And I remember that one of the first professors I visited was Pierre Dubois. And he was like, I don't know much about this. He gave me some reference in a book. And he told me, go to talk to Patrick, Alex, all these people. And then I went to talk to my advisor now, De Cournier. And yeah, he had been my professor during the M1. Then I think because you start with this interest, general interest, and it gets mixed with his interests because it's rather natural. No, it's you have to follow what we say is to connect. Exactly, like and it's what he knows about. He, of course, if you go to talk to Alex, for instance, he wouldn't say, why don't you try a macro labor model A? But it's not so.
You're saying that you have to not have connection, but to know people who push you to other people. Like you can't just go and say, hi, I'm interested in that. Like it's more complicated.
This happens during the ET because at the end of the ET you need to write what we call a third year. No, it's not the third year paper. It's it's like a memoir. It's like the ET thesis is the name. It's just you have 1 month to write it. So it's
1 month.
Yeah, it's short. It's very bad.
Yeah.
Some people it tends to be bad. In my case, it was fairly bad.
When you talk about ET, it's like the master?
The master,
But yeah,
ET is the master. So
it's during like vacation you write it?
it's after the exams, the last exams, which are when your exams happen in April. Yeah, so it's during May to June, May and June, couple of months, 1 month and a half, something like this. And then you can keep working on the ET thesis for your PhD. That is possible. It wasn't my case, but I think there is some people this is perfectly fine.
What's a week in the life of a PhD student? Like when you wake up in the morning, will you come in your desk and what you do?
Yeah, you wake up. It's good that you can wake up a bit later or earlier depending on your mood because you don't have any schedule to meet very early. So you come, say 9 to TSE. Then you can have different seminars. Like there are some seminars in TSE. The IO seminar, the Industrial Organization seminar, which is the one that I attend the most.
It's like a big course?
A seminar, no, it's one professor from another university.
Oh, okay, yes.
Who comes and presents a paper.
Yeah.
One paper.
Can we go to this seminar as a student?
If you are interested in coming, I guess no one will stop you. But if a lot of people is interested in coming, then this will be a problem. Like if you, let's say you, Gabriel, come, there is no problem. But if 20 people come, then there's no space. It starts being a problem.
Okay.
I've never seen, I think, any master's student M1, let's say. M2 ET, yes. So the competition policy one, it's different because it's intended for M2 EMO students. So that's a bit different. But normally, I don't, at least in IO, it's not the case because every group has their seminar.
So seminar all the day?
No. It's you can have a seminar. The IO one is once every 2 weeks. Then there are workshops which have the same things as supposed to be the same thing as a seminar, but it's internal in the sense that it's me who is presenting, not some good professor from outside. It's me or normally PhD students. Professors also present, but it's less likely. Like we are forced to present. Also, we want to present because we want the feedback. So it's PhD students present much more in the workshops. And the workshops, again, it's one for each group. Then there are some PhD workshop, which is a bit different, but in general, each group has its seminar and its workshop. And some groups have a reading group, which is reading papers of other people. It's like a reading, I don't know, this middle-aged people that read some books and then discuss them. It's exactly the same thing, but with the
Book club.
a book club, yeah. A book club, but instead of reading El Quijote, you read, I don't know, two ways identification in these terms. And someone is in charge, I guess it's the same in a book club, someone is in charge of putting more attention on the book, on the article, and leading the discussion. he presents like if he was a bit if it was his paper, the strengths and like.
So there is a lot of connection between PhD student, researcher, or TSE.
It should. I think it is. Yes, it is.
You have the impression that it upgrades the research, the production.
For sure. Completely. But this is something that anyone would tell you.
At what time you just work on your computer and doing your stuff or writing?
No, it's most of the day you have it free for doing this. Say the average PhD student will attend one seminar, one workshop, and one reading group, which is like 1 hour, 1 hour and a half times 3. So it's like, let's go a bit in the upper bound, 6 hours a week, but it's not a lot. Then the rest of the time you're working on your own or preparing classes or teaching.
And on the project that you do it with in group, like there is a big research project and each person do a little part of the project and you link it together.
In economics, it happens. I think this is more common in other sciences. In economics, of course, there is people that co-authors papers, but normally it's either 2 or 3 people working on a project. Like big project as such of 20 researchers working on the same project. It's not usual, I think.
So you can like doing a thesis team free with some people? Like?
Yes, you can. You can for the PhD, for the thesis, the dissertation we said. In TSE we followed like the American system, the US system. That is that you have 3 chapters, and each of these 3 chapters is a paper. And the paper can be a solo paper or can be co-authored, but there is no problem there. I guess if all the papers were co-authored with 20 people, it'd be a problem, but normally this is not the case.
What is the positive side and the negative side, maybe, of being a PhD student?
The positive side, especially in TSE, the positive side, especially if you do IO digital like I do, is that you have the best people in the world working with you, having a coffee with you, and they are nice people. And
For people who don't know, what is IO?
IO is industrial organization. Okay, it's very famous in Toulouse thanks to Tirol.
Yeah.
Jean-Jacques Lafont, Jacques Kremer. Like Toulouse is especially good place for.
I have a question, guys. Who are the people who are like most famous in?
TSE.
Yes. Obviously, it's Tirol.
So like, yeah, that after him, because like everybody.
Still now in TSE. You see in the corridor.
No, Tirol is here.
He's here. He's there, and you can.
Yes, of course he's.
Building.
I don't know his schedule, but of course he's busy because he needs to speak with. He gives small conferences because he has a position that I think he represents TSE outside, things like this. He needs to go to talk to the president from time to time, things like this. That very important people.
And you are a Tirol fan?
Yeah. Right. Everyone, it's everyone in IO is, but in TSE, this I cannot say no. So it's there. Even if I wasn't, there is absolutely no way someone here in this chair you say no, I don't like the. You guys.
We saw that you visited the digital economy unit.
Yes.
Of the Joint Research Center, and we were wondering how was it to get that opportunity? How did you find out about it, and what was the process like of getting there?
Maybe we can explain what is it.
The European Commission, I guess, it's common knowledge, is the government of the European Union. So they have a research part, they have a political part, they have a lot of different things, and they have a research institution. And the research institution is called the Joint Research Center, and it's located in different places in Europe. I'd say most of the economic, social science part is in between Seville in Spain and East Prague, which is close to Italy. In Italy, close to Milan. And I went to Seville to this digital economics unit because TSE has an agreement with them. The agreement is formal too. Like it's one of these particular cases where the agreement is formal, I guess, because it's the European Commission and they want to have everything formalized more than the Pompeu. Well, with the Pompeu Fabra, they have a formal agreement too, I think. But there are some universities with which we don't have a formal agreement, but the group of researchers have good connections and they are kind of friends with the researchers of other universities. So this is also the case with the Joint Research Center. They have a digital economic unit. I think they are like 50 researchers, something like this. But I went to a team In particular, the platforms, DPR is the Data and Platforms Economic Research, something like this. I don't remember what were the letters. That is led by a researcher that is co-author of. They are even the people inside the team. They are co-authors of some researchers here in TSE.
Okay.
So it was easy to meet the team leader. In fact, I met him because I recognized him in the street here in Toulouse, and I was with my bike. I stopped him like, "Yeah, it's Nestor. It's Nestor. Nice to meet you, everyone." I'm interested in all these things, and he was like, "Oh, maybe you can come to visit." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't know I could, but of course I would be happy." This was the way. You need to be a bit. It's not good to be shy, let's say, while you are an economist, because or a researcher, because connections are important, co-authorships are important, and then you need. I'm a shy person in particular, but you need to try to learn not to be too shy. You need to create a network. Exactly, it's very important for I don't know if it's good or bad, but it's important.
Okay. And how would you say your time there looked like in terms of, for example, any presentations or activities you were involved in, or even your day-to-day life?
There is in Seville, or
Oh yeah, when you were at the
yeah, it was similar to the day-to-day here, because the part that they are only 8 instead of here working, I don't know, 30, 40 people in Ayo. Okay, only in Ayo. Then there are, I don't know how many researchers are in TSE, but there are more than 100 for sure. So there were less seminars that maybe I was interested in, so I had more time to work. And the good thing of this place is that they don't have PhD students. So it's a research institution, it's not a university, so they don't have PhD students. So when I went there, they treated me as if I was one researcher, like one of them. Okay. In the set. So it was good because normally, even in TSE, everyone wants to claim you, but it's like there is a difference between PhD students and professors, and there it was only me, so everyone took care of me, everyone wants me to succeed in my thesis, things like this. And now I'm good friends of most of them, and they are good researchers too, consolidated researchers. I'm not saying that the PhD students are not good, but they are not consolidated, of course. It's helpful to have these connections.
Okay.
With senior people.
And maybe a question that a lot of students could ask, it's like how many times take a thesis to finish?
6 years.
6 years.
6 to 7 years.
6 to 7.
Yeah. But why? Would you...
The whole PhD is 6 years now, between 6 and 7, because there is, especially if you work with data, you need 1 year more.
Yeah.
There is this trend because the market is too competitive. So that's in the end part. But 6 years, because the first year is ETE, the master's M2, and
Even more if you've done a bachelor's for 6 years.
yes. So it's tiring, but this is what it is. It's so you have these first 2 years of courses. The first year is the ETE, which is the competitive one, but you need to do good to continue. Then there is a second one that every year you need to do good enough, but it's not like there is this cut, no. And the second year is you have courses, but they are more linked to your topic. Like you choose which group you want to be in. I chose to be in IO and econometrics, and some people chose, I don't know, theory and macro. So you follow their courses and some others, but mostly their courses. So you learn a lot about IO methods.
How many you are in this course? Fine, not this course, but like in this year.
My cohort is large. It's a large one. We are 19, I believe. But it's a large one. Previous one, I think they were 10. Like it varies because it depends on the pool of applicants. And I think it might depend on the funding, but I'm not sure. Like if they have more money, there's more money. And then you start with your research.
But the research last how many years for the research in itself?
Just the research itself. Like you start during the AT.
You start doing it
But part-time, not at the end of the AT, like with this master thesis. Then during the MRes, you do a bit more, but this is still like part-time because you want to learn all the things in the courses, or it depends. That is more an individual preference that you can allocate your time. How much time do you want to spend with the courses? How much time do you want to spend with the research? And the following year, for 3 years, yes. So third, fourth, and fifth years, they are pure research and teaching. And the sixth year is you finish your research in the first months of the last year, and then you go to the job market, which is something very structured, and you have interviews, talk, like you don't do that much research because you don't have time.
What do you mean you do interview?
You're an expert a topic and you write, you talk about your research.
Exactly, like the way it works is very well organized. It's most of the job market is centralized on a web page.
Okay, so perhaps finally, could you tell us what visiting the digital economy unit added in terms of your skills and also to your personal aspirations? So to what you want to do later, how was it? How did it contribute?
Well, it was a research visit, so it mostly contributed to improve my research. That was the objective at the end. And also, especially in this particular case, this team and my interests are very well connected. So they are giving me access to some data that otherwise I couldn't have.
Yeah.
And this for a researcher is something extremely important because data is expensive, especially in digital economics. Data is scarce and very expensive. So this already paid off. But there the people there has been working in similar topics to mine for a long time.
Okay.
And from the empirical point of view, that here in TSE, the research in digital is mainly theoretical. So they could understand the problems I was facing before I faced them.
Yeah.
Like they really knew what to do, and the good thing is that I spent there 6 months, but yeah, this connection will last long. Like I'm talking to them in WhatsApp almost every day, things like this. So they can help me, and I can tell them, oh, this part of the data, do you trust it? Do you find some data set like this one? Are you going to this conference? Should I apply here? Of course, it's the European Commission, so they know, I think they can predict better than people outside what are the important questions for the future of policy.
Okay.
From this, that is something that researchers care a lot about. We want to contribute, and our way of contributing to the real world is through doing research in policy areas. That's it.
Okay.
Especially I applied research that are theorists, but that's different.
Okay. In general, what advice do you have for TSE students who are looking for an assistantship or internship in your experience, and were interested in sort of using that as a stepping stone to move on to a PhD?
Oh, if you're going to do a PhD, then I would advise to do a research assistantship, not an internship. It's much, I think, even strategically, it doesn't matter. My opinion here, it doesn't matter. It's more valued by the universities who are going to select it, especially if you're. Because the way it works is, especially for top PhD programs, is you do a research assistant with someone that is very good, very famous. This person, for giving an example, a nice example here in TSE is, say, Tirol. You do a research assistantship for Tirol. So Tirol will recommend, if you do it well enough, which let's assume this is the case, Tirol will recommend you to the university you want to go to do the PhD. And the opposite, like if unfortunately, I didn't do it, but imagine that I do a research assistantship with someone very famous in Spain, in Madrid, where I work. Then this person would have sent a reference letter to TSE, which you need the reference letters from professors, but like it's a way of getting a good connection with an important researcher.
Okay. I have a question, like why it is important to do a good PhD program, like doing it in a good university. Like why does it?
Question of resources, maybe.
Maybe resources or being famous, but because like what's the difference between, I don't know, a TSE and the University of...
Don't say that. What's the difference between TSE and another? In TSE, you have the best people. You have part of the, of course, there are a lot of researchers, but you have part of the best people of every single group in the world. So the techniques they use, the techniques they can teach to you are the best, the state of art, I would say. So that's one part. Resources, as you say, is also very important. Like, you know what the building, TSE building is. It's not the same as having an office here in this building than maybe not having an office like in some universities. This kind of.
Is it also because you're better paid in TSE than other university maybe? Or not paid, but like the fund of your research?
I have no clue about this. I think we are paid the same as in, because our doctoral contract is a French doctoral contract.
Okay.
So I think it's the same area.
And what's the amount? Like, by curiosity?
I think it's something, you can check this on the internet, but I think it's 1,760 something like that. Yeah, it's something like that. It's growing a bit.
Okay.
But it's in like before or after tax? After?
No, after tax. Yeah, after. No, sorry. After the big part of taxes, maybe, but then would you?
Yeah, you still had
Taxes. I'm not sure.
But I think normally is that like I check out.
Yeah, it's something like this, and then you are paid more if you teach. Like, you are forced, like, you need to teach because, of course, there is a double thing here. The university wants you to teach to have teachers to give the classes, and also it's good for you to have experience because in the day of tomorrow, most of us will be university professors. You need to know how to teach.
And maybe we can end about talking about your research article. The first one
is excessive content moderation.
Yeah, and this is part of your thesis, like chapter 1.
One chapter, yes.
Yeah, okay. And can you explain what your research talk about? What are your results?
So this first paper is theoretical. Like, it's a big difference between empirical and theoretical papers. So this first paper, is theoretical, and in social media platforms there is a lot of, say, hateful speech, extreme speech that
Safe content.
Unsafe content in general. That's the word we use. It's there because some people like reading this type of thing. It's not something we can do about. The papers about this regulation or these policies that are aimed to increasing the strictness of the content moderation, saying that they want to be they want people to post things that are not racist, things like this. Like, if you post something racist, you get banned. And they want to make this a bit more strict because it seems that there is a lot of unsafe. So the point of the paper is the same. Be careful here, because if people value being with other people, maybe it's better not to be very strict, so that, because in the opposite case, if you are too strict, people will leave your platform, say Twitter, Instagram, and will create content in another unregulated platforms.
Yeah, there's a famous one which is 4chan.
But 4chan is in the good part, the good side of this. Like, for instance, 4chan is an interesting case because 4chan it was very famous. It's large enough. It's kind of large, but so they started doing some content moderation, and some people there, a good amount of people there, were angry with this, and they created 8chan or Kunchan.
For people who don't know, 4chan was a famous site web where people used to do at the beginning of internet, but not bad thing, but like we have people for selling I don't know kidney or thing like that. It was really little dark, pedophilia. I don't know if I can say this word, but it was very dark. They started doing some content, imposing some content moderation, and the thing is that this content moderation a lot of time has to do with politics. I think in this case, if I remember correctly, the 4chan case, I think they were the creators of 8chan. It was a bit about politics, that they were saying that the content moderation was against the right or something like this. I don't exactly remember, to be honest. But then the funny thing is that there were some people angry with 8chan doing some content moderation, and they created 16chan.
So yeah, this is so in the internet you can find anything. So that's the motivation of my paper. Like, be careful where you moderate because people on the internet can find other places too.
So how government should moderate
Exactly. So
the solution.
the solution, the point of my paper is that it depends on the what we call the network effects, how much you value being with another person.
Yeah.
So this is an added value for the platform. Like, you like Twitter because there is a lot of people in Twitter, so you need to you can use these network effects in your favor. And given that people in 4chan likes being with a lot of people, if you let them say the things that they are saying or things similar to what they are saying on Twitter, you can make them move from 4chan to Twitter.
Yeah.
But there are cases, for instance, some people with other people in the digital economic unit in Seville, they had a paper about home. In this case, they saw that there was some huge content moderation in the very big platforms of, I think in France now it's even blocked. Yeah, they don't want kids to, but of course kids know how to surpass these measures. I think most of the time the government is trying to, I don't know if this is in English or in French, but we say in Spanish that they are trying to create gates in an open field.
Yeah.
So especially on digital contests that you cannot enforce, and this is one of them. You can any 15 years old kid or teenager knows how to install a VPN. Maybe this is enforceable for 80 years old, 90 years old, but they are out of the politics.
You talk also about the Digital Act.
The Digital Services Act.
And what do you think about this art?
It's becoming political.
No, but in the case of your paper, like, do you think it's gonna solve things, or it's gonna be like your new paper, like?
To me, it depends on the context. That's the good thing when you do theory, that you don't need to be very political in that sense. You just say, oh, you need to be more careful when you have these large network effects, like it's the case of social media. You can be a bit less careful when you have lower network effects, like it's the case of porn. The problem with porn is that if people, like the study I was referring before, if people leave the big platforms, they will go to small platforms that are unregulated. There are a lot of scams and privacy problems and
Other
other problems.
Okay. And so quite interesting. I think we can finish with the last difficult question. So if you come back to when you were 20 years old, what advice would you give to your younger self?
To myself personally, no.
And
Or
it is related with the student that follows.
to Spanish people, I would advise them to learn French. I mean, I didn't know I was coming here. That's why I didn't. I started learning French in Toulouse, which maybe is not the best. There's a huge difference if you come with some, especially because when you are 20, you have more time than when you are a PhD. Now my French is terrible. I mean, I can manage, but it's terrible. That's that to international students, at least. That's my advice. To other students, to French students, I think it's very important to do internships and research assistantships because they differentiate you a lot. I believe the young market.
Good advice.
Good ideas. It's also a huge great network, like you said.
Yeah, for research, the network is very important, especially in economics. In maths, there is this guy in Russia that I think he lives with his mother, because you can do that. It's fine. You solve the problem of the century, and it's too obvious that of the millennium. I don't know how they call this, and it's obvious that you are a genius and you're the best. That they gave him 1 million euros. He didn't accept them. It's like, it's fine. Yeah. But in economics, everything is more about
it's a human science.
It's a human science. So what's the important policy? The society or the researchers need to decide what's important, what's not. It's important to be connected. It's okay. Difficult to say what's obviously in the methodological side. It's much more objective of what's good or what's not. But in the relevance side of it, saying that some research is more relevant than the other, it's kind of an outcome that comes from a network of researchers. So it's very important. And for the young market, maybe like for non-researchers, maybe it's even more important.
Okay.
Okay, and thank you for
Thank you for being next year.
Thank
Thank you for inviting me.
was a pleasure.
Yeah, it was very interesting to listen to you because you have so a lot of insight for our students.
And you're working on really pertinent topics.
I hope so. I hope the network thinks the same as you.
And thank you for our listener to listen to us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.